Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, as we all know, like solving a quadratic equations, we can use three methods, which is factorizing, completing square, and by using quadratic formula. Okay, in this lesson, I only want to talk about how do we use completing square method to solve this quadratic equation. For those who are taking at maths, I think you have learned this before. You just treat this as a revision, and for those not taking a math one, you have to listen carefully because this is a new thing to you, all right? Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's say I have an example here, x squared plus 5x plus 6. I purposely put 1 here because I want to show you the coefficient of x squared is actually equal to 1. So if there is nothing here, that means it's equal to 1. Don't confuse. And I name it as a. So b will be the coefficient of x, which is 5 in this case, and c will be the number after these two unknowns. So in this case will be 6, right? Okay, let's do completing scale right now. Step 1, we need to add something new inside the equation here. All right, so this one, you can see I just copy down x squared plus 5x, but in the middle here, I add this 2, which is b divided by 2, and square it. After that, minus b divided by 2, I square it again. So actually, I didn't do anything to disturb this expression. I just add something, this thing, I want to change the format of the equation only, all right? So let's see step 2. So now step 2, we need to substitute the b now as the coefficient of x, which is in 5, which is 5 in this case. So you just replace the b now as 5 and do this thing, right? Okay, I change the b now become 5. Okay, after that, right, these 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, the first 3 now is going to compress, become this, all right? So you can see now it's actually a bracket now, power 2, and then this x square now, the square is outside of the bracket already. This one no more square, don't confuse. And then after that, this number is actually from here. Whatever in the bracket, you just put it inside here. Ignore the 5x. So basically, after we compress this into this, we only write 1x here and the number inside this bracket, and the power 2 is outside the bracket right now. And after that, these two, right, you need to expand. I mean, this one you need to expand. So you get 25 over 4. And after we, power 2 it, I get 25 over 4. But because of this negative, so the answer still remains as negative. Then plus the 6 back here, so I copy it down, right? Then after that, we simplify this one, then we get the answer as negative 1 over 4. So basically, after we up to this stage, the completing square process has been done. So in the end, I can conclude that this one is this one. All right. So that means this one is equal to this one. If you expand this part, if you expand and simplify this part, you notice that you get back this one. All right. So we just change the format of the normal equation of this one, the format of this one, into a completing square format. You can see the completing square format is always start with x and with a number, then power 2, then with a number at the back, either plus or minus, it doesn't matter, all right? Okay, so next time when you see this kind of format, you know this is actually a completing square process, right? Okay, so the question may ask you, to solve equation one, right? Let's see this one, okay? This is what we learned before. By factorizing, you can get this answer. And if by completing square, we'll get this answer. So basically, these two are exactly the same. These three exactly the same, equal to each other. So next thing is we try to solve this equation, all right? So when we solve, we normally you get equal it to 0. Otherwise, what is the purpose of solving, right? It just okay, you just have to factorize and completing square only, no need to solve. If this one becomes 0, that means we need to find out what is the figure x, so that when I substitute here, that I get answer as 0. So there are a few methods. I remember I said the factorizing method, okay? If I use the factorizing method, I need to use this one. So that means this one will equal to 0. So x now equal to negative 3 and -2, right? So you can see from here, make this equal to 0, so you get -3, then make this equal to 0, you get -2 as the answer. This is by factorizing method, right? So it seems quite easy, easier than the other one. Huh? By completing square method, we have to use this one. We still make it equal to 0. Then after that, we need to move this. We need to make this this -1/4 to this side so that it become +1/4. Okay. Then after that, then you need to get rid of this square. When I get rid of square, I need to square root this part. So it becomes square root 1/4. Remember, square root, we have two answers, one positive, one negative is 1/2, right? So, but what we want is actually x, right? So you need to move this away by minus them, right? So you have two answers again. X is equal to half, half from here, positive half, minus this one. So I get -2, or this is negative. Okay, then still minus this, then I get -3 answer. You can see our two answers are the same. Huh? If I use factorizing method or completing square, both give you the same answer. Okay, so basically this the completing square format, and I mean the process to get a completing square, and this is how we solve the completing quadratic equation. Next one, let's see one more example. Okay, now this is no more 1x squared, it's 2x squared. In completing square the process, you cannot have and the number other than 1. So basically when we have this 2, 3, or even 0.5, half, you need to make it into 1. So how do we do that? We factorize it. You can see my steps. Step 1, you need to factorize the 2 out. So like that, you factor it out, then you get this, and then notice that this -3 originally become -3/2 because I factor the 2 out, so I need to divide it with 2. So that way, if I expand it, I get back this. Then the -4 I don't touch, I just put it at the back. All right. Step 2. Step 2, that's the usual method. We need to add this. You can see I add b/2 square and b/2 and then square. 1 plus, 1 minus. Always plus first, then minus. All right. Then next step, we sub the b as -3/2 here, because you can see from here the b now is -3/2. So when you sub in here, then you divide by 2. So in the end, we get this -3/4 square. Okay, -3/4 square. So after that, we need to compress this again. This 2 is still outside here. The 2 is still outside here. I need to compress this, become x minus whatever here. Whatever here. Okay. All right. Then after that, this one also become this, right? Become this. All right. Then after that, -4. Then after that, we need to multiply in expand. 2 times this one, you'll get this thing, and 2 times this one, I get this. All right. So from here, we simplify this part, we'll get this. All right. So in the end, our completing square of this one will be 2 times this thing, 2, and then after that minus 41/8. Okay. Okay. As usual, we can use completing square to solve equation, right? I mean, solve this quadratic equation. So if let's say this one now becomes 0, when I solve it, I use this, the whole thing of this, I copy it here, I make it as 0. As usual, I need to move the 41 over here, make it positive. And then these 2, I want to get rid first. So I will divide this with, then I get 16, 41/16. Then I need to get rid of this power 2. I will square root this. Right? But when I square root it, I get a decimal number. So, but I don't want to use that. So I just leave the answer like that. 1 positive of this and 1 negative of this. So I want to get x, right? So I need to move this away to plus 3/4. We can see our two answer will be these two. So it will be plus 3/4, plus 3/4, 1 positive from here and 1 negative from here. Okay, so basically these two are the answer when I solve this equation. Right? All right. Okay, I show you another example. All right, there is one question like that: x squared minus 8x plus 3 equal to x plus p squared, and then this one. So the question now is asking what is the value of p and q. Okay, this is the question. The question also never tell you you must do completing square, but from this method, as I said, when you see this thing, you should know this is actually a completing square format. So you need to do completing square of this. All right. So we follow the same step like just what we learned just now. like A equal to 1 here, B equal to -8, and C equal to 3. So step 1, I'll make this again. I add these two, right? Remember, I add these two. Okay, 1 plus 1 minus, huh? Then after that, you substitute B as -8 inside this. So that's why we have -8 over 2. -8 over 2. Okay, -8 over 2 is actually -4. Huh? So after that, I compress this. Remember, I said I compress this, that will become this one. So X is from here. So the power 2 is outside already. Then this, whatever the number here, you just put it as -4, okay? And this one also, okay, this negative, right? Just is this one, is this negative. And this one 4, if you square, you get 16 positive. So the answer still remain as -16. -16, you need to plus 3, then our answer will be -13. So in the end, this one is actually this one. So from here, if we compare this one, so P is actually -4, right? Can you see from here? The P is actually -4, and then Q will be -3. This is how we answer this question, all right? Okay, alternatively, we can use another method. All right, let's say this is a question originally, okay? Then we can use another method by expand this part, okay? When I expand, I get x squared plus 2px plus p squared plus q, okay? So this is after I explain this part, okay? After I expand, I'll compare the coefficient with the coefficient. You can see x squared is 1, right? This is also 1, so that means nothing we can do already, is already correct. And then you can see from the one with x is 2p, you only have one x here, so that means that -8 must be 2p, right? The -8x must be 2px, so -8 must be 2p. All right, from here you know p will be -4. And from here also, this 3 will be equivalent to this. 3 will be equivalent to this. So from here, because I know p as -4 already, so I'll substitute here. So I get 16, and then I just simplify, and then finally I got q as -13, right? So you can see from here, these two answer still the same. So that means you can use this method or this method to do this type of question, because sometimes when in exam we totally forgot how to do completing square, but we know how to expand, so we still can expand it. After that, we can compare the coefficient, then we still get the same answer. All right, I think that's all for today. Then you can try one exercise 13.10. Every question you just do F, just use completing square to do the exercise, because the question asks you to do either use formula or completing square. You just use completing square method to do this exercise. All right, okay, I'll see you again. Thank you.